Hello there and welcome back to the DBMS series video. So today we are going to discuss the fifth video. So the scenario is as follows. So our organization which we are using to develop software is known as Tata Software Solution, and we are creating a database for an academy called New Vision Academy. So the software has a table called teacher to store teachers data. So first we have to create this table. So since there are no ER diagrams involved in this, we'll be using HeidiSQL. So let's check the next question also. So the next question is about query statements. So we'll have to add the data here by using queries and not graphical. So let's open the HeidiSQL. Alright. So first, to create a new database, right click on MySQL 80, click on create new and click on database. Next we'll have to give the database a nice name. So the nice name is already given within the question. So let's click on copy and let's paste it here. Alright, so we created the new database called New Vision Academy. So to create new tables, right click on the database and then click on create new and then click on table. So the table's name here is going to be the teacher table. So let us add the teacher table. Now we'll have to add the columns. So the teacher's register number, first name, last name, gender, contact number, email. Let's add those. Alright, so let's set the character limit as well. So the first name and last name is going to be 45 characters and the email is going to be 50 characters. While the rest are going to be 10 characters. Alright, so let's click on save to save the database table. Now since we have created the table, so after we have created the table, let's assign the teacher register number as the primary key. So click on create new index and select the primary and then click on save. If you click on save, you will receive an error message. So we'll click on default and we'll give it as no default value. Click on OK and then click on save. Alright. So we have finished the first and the second questions. So the third question is, when enter the data shown in the table below in the database table you have set up above. Do not use the graphical method. So we are going to use the query statements. So the main query is going to be the insert query. So to use query statements, you have a tab here known as the query. So here you will have to enter the statement. So I'm going to type in insert, so all caps, and then type into, that also all caps, and then we'll have to select our table name, our database name. So let me select it from my clipboard. Okay, and then once you use a dot, you can select the table from that database. So now I'm going to select which columns need to be entered. So within a bracket, we use this special character which is below the escape key. So within that you can enter a column name. So we'll be adding the teacher reg number. And then next we'll be adding the first name. Next we'll be adding the last name. Next we'll be adding the gender. Next we'll be adding the contact number. And finally the email. So this part of the query shows us that we have selected specific columns to insert data into. And then now we'll have to, so it's not enough selecting the columns only. So we also need to enter the data inside those columns. So we'll have to add another statement called the values. So that is also going to be in capital letters. Now to enter the values, we'll be using another bracket, and within the bracket we'll be using 2 single quotation marks, and then we'll be adding the first value. So what is the first value? It is TEC 001 for the teacher reg number. So let's add it here. So now let's add a comma to separate to the next column. So we'll add the same way, and then the next data is going to be the first name. So let's copy the first name and let's paste it here. Again add a comma and use the same method. And after you have finished entering all the data, you have to put in a semicolon. And then to run the query, click on the blue play button. And now let's check whether the data has been entered into our table. So let's click on data. Alright, we have entered the first data into the table. So let's enter the others as the same method. So we'll have to enter all of these data. Alright, so there are a lot of entries where we have entered, and then once you go to the data tab, you will be able to see all what you have entered. If some results are not visible in the data table, then click on the reload button and you will receive all the entries. So that's all for today. Let's meet in the next video.